What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining me on D's Analysis. We're going to be looking at MicroStrategies today. We're going to go over some indicators and we're going to go over Bitcoin as well. So we've been getting our nice bounce off this trend line. We're looking very good. We broke the secondary trend line after this initial retest of the first one. Looking very good. We are now at that level of resistance that we spoke about. We have it drawn out already, and it looks like it is playing out as some resistance. We opened up at 354 and we ended the day at 344. But now we're currently opened at 344 and now we're currently sitting at 347 at the time of this video. Of course, this is subject to change. MicroStrategy moves a lot. So hopefully we can see a push above this level here. I do think if we crack 355, that should free up price a little bit and allow us to move up a little bit higher. I don't know how much higher because the price action here to the left is a little funky looking. So we have a clean move here, but when you keep looking further left, it looks a little weird. But if you're just basing it off of this candle, then it should be a clean move up to 378 or so. We just need a little bit of volume, and we have to break this recent high at about 356 roughly. But things are looking good. We need to see a close on the weekly above this gray level here. So we want to get a close at 355 on the weekly or higher. That would be ideal to set us up for the following week and the next upcoming weeks and months. On the daily SMAs, we got the 20 to cross the 50, and now you can see prices just ramping up. It has done this previously. This is not the first time. As you can see here, the 20 crossed the 50, we ran up. Even on a smaller scale, when you see the 20 cross the 50, it's a lagging indicator. So this move here is really this here. And you can see it was still a decent sized move, about 50% roughly. So it looks like we're getting that same thing right now. Looks very good. We got the 20 across the 50. Hopefully this can be a sustainable move that keeps pushing up higher. On the weekly, we are still holding that 20. We definitely want to get a close on the weekly above the 20 week and above this level. This level is more important than the 20 week right now. On the daily Bollinger Band, we are at the red band right now. So let's see if we push and maybe push outside of it, or we continue to hug it on the way upward. And on the weekly, we are essentially in the same position as the SMA. So we're really just focused on this gray area here. If we get a close above here, maybe we get a retest and push up to the red band on the weekly of the Bollinger Bands. On the daily RSI, we're looking good. It looks like we're trying to create new highs as well. Inverse head and shoulders played out very well. Looks like it's trying to creep up even more. To break the recent high, it would be about 61 roughly, and we're slightly underneath that, but I could definitely see us breaking that within no time. On the weekly RSI, we have a nice sustainable move above the moving average, so let's see if we get a retest or we just continue to ride up. On the MACD, we're still in the same position. We are creating higher highs. When you look at this recent high, we have broken this and we have broken the last high as well. So the last two recent highs that we've had from January 23rd and March 27th have been broken in terms of the MACD. So that is a good sign. When you look at January 27th, we actually have not broken that high yet because that was at 389 in terms of price. So I guess that would actually kind of be some kind of divergence because at January 23rd, we were at some point at 388, and now the MACD is higher than it was at this point, and price is at 346. So this is downward, and this is slightly upward. Slight divergence. Could mean that a powerful move could be coming. We'll see. Global liquidity had a minor pullback yesterday. So Wednesday was a little pullback. So let's see what today brings us, and let's see if this thing starts ramping back up. The pullbacks have been relatively short. As you can see here, we've had multiple pullbacks along the way. It looks like 85 days ended up being the bottom. The lag was about 85, depending if you pull it from here, maybe 87 or something. 84, I'm sorry. 84, 85, something around there. So it looks like that is the lag right now, but I would never really focus on a specific day because it's so dynamic. Now on Bitcoin, We did get a close above this zone back in the bottom of the range, which is perfect. I did add this zone here because this is going to be a mid line that we're going to have some trouble with once we get there. We'll need a lot of momentum to break through it. But we did get that close on the daily within the bottom of this range. You love to see that. And now we got one bounce. Now we got a second bounce, and looks like price is pushing up higher. And we're going to just break it down to lower levels. So I drew some lines out here in a downtrend on the hourly because we started to form this little trend downward. The reason you see two lines is because, remember, these zones, like trend lines and support and resistance, they're always zones. They aren't a specific line. You can use a line for guidance, but remember, it's not a specific line. So that's why I have two lines drawn out. Maybe if we break this and we get a retest of this on the hourly, maybe it'll allow us to push up a little bit higher, and maybe break this and allow price to push up higher. Just wanted to break it down on a lower time frame. Remember, whenever you do charts, you want to do top-down analysis. So what that means is you start on the highest time frame and you draw your stuff out, and you continue to draw on lower time frames and map everything out, and you can tighten up your zones and everything on smaller time frames, because the smaller you get, the more precise you can get with your zones and all that kind of stuff. On the weekly SMA, we're right above the 20 right now, so we definitely want to get a close above that. That's going to be key, because then on the weekly, that means we're closing above the 20-week SMA, which brings the trend right back intact, and that means that we're right back in the bottom of this range, which is ideal for price to move up higher. So this is probably the most important close that we've seen in a while on the weekly. And same thing for the Bollinger Bands, it's in the exact same spot. And on the daily, we're at the red band right now on the Bollinger Bands. Let's see if price continues to follow the way that gold has been rallying up. Let's see if Bitcoin can do the same, and we just absolutely rally like crazy. Gold's been rallying up since December 23rd, and that's roughly 112 days. And if you add this past week, 118 days. So if we were to get a rally for that long, this is just hypothetical. We don't know if this is actually going to happen. But if we were to rally, remember, gold has been making all-time highs. So if we push it out 112 days, 119 days, that takes us to July 28th to August 4th, somewhere in that range. That's if we're to follow gold to the T for how long it's been rallying for. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully we can push up to the mid 100s and beyond. It looks like Bitcoin is trying to get some momentum. It's holding up very well, even when you look here, like we saw on the hourly. It looks like we are also forming a bull flag at the same time. I just looked at that right now. You got your flag being built right here, flagpole, and you got a nice little flag or pennant, whichever one it's more of a flag, I would say. So you can do it like that, and it's looking pretty good, honestly. So let's see if we break out and measure that target to about 100,000. We'll see, but it's just something to take into consideration. On the weekly for MSTR divided by Bitcoin, we broke out of this downtrend, pushing upward, have a zone drawn out. So we have our first trend line that's a little bit tighter, and the second one that's a little bit looser. Looks like we're trying to get a bounce. Let's see if we can push up a little bit higher and crack this wick right here at 39, push up a little bit higher, show that MSTR is doing what it's supposed to do, outperforming Bitcoin in the up times and downperforming in the downward times. Let me take a look here on the monthly. We had one in COVID. We had one in 2024. We had some spikes previously, but nothing like the past two here in 2024 and 2020. And it looks like that was just a shakeout, potentially. The way that the S&P has rallied against the VIX has been pretty nice. So let's see if we can get back above this line here and push up higher. That would definitely be super bullish for Bitcoin and all risk on assets. When you also take a look here at the dollar, as you can see, when we hit these lows, Bitcoin tends to rally when we hit these levels here. So as you can see, they have an inverse correlation, and you can see the drawdowns, 14%, 13%, 13%, and currently down 9.6, but we were down a total of 10.9. So let's see if we make it all the way to 95. I think we potentially can. But as we topped in the dollar every time, we rallied. We topped, rallied, topped, rallied, topped. So now I'm expecting another rally. Something like that. And if we get something even steeper, I'm okay with that too. I'll take something like this or like this. Remember, in the 4-year cycle, I know people are saying the 4-year cycle is over, but we'll find out. I don't think it's over yet. 2021, or I'm sorry, 2017, that's when we had the craziest rally. 2021 is when we had the other crazy rally, and now it's 2025. I think it's definitely that time where we could be getting the big run up that we've been anticipating. We'll see how it plays out. We just have to make sure that no macroeconomics comes in the way of it, whether it's tariffs, unemployment data, or inflation ramping back up. As long as those stay in check, I can see this thing rallying up to mid 100s and maybe even 200,000 in a very bullish scenario. That's all I have for you guys. I'll see you in the next one.